Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite superhero movie ever made, and it's honestly not even up for debate. I've rewatched Spider-Verse more than 10 to 15 times by now, and even after rewatching this movie again for this video, I still find small little details to love. The message of Spider-Verse reinforcing that anyone could wear Spider-Man's mask and become a superhero, let alone Spider-Man, is still beautiful even 3 years after the movie's release. There's just so much to love about this movie. The story, the animation, the art style, the characters, the jokes, the soundtrack, and even Miles' parents. It's beyond crazy to me that this movie is still as good as I remember it being after I watched it in the theaters for the first time ever. I've watched a countless amount of superhero movies, and some of them I've yet to make videos about, but no matter how many times I'm asked, what do you think is the best comic book movie ever made? My answer is Spider-Verse till this day. Hell, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that every couple of weeks I tweet that we didn't deserve the greatness that is Spider-Verse. That's how much I absolutely love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I've touched on this in my Ranking the Arrowverse video, but this is the only other time I've ever felt represented in a superhero movie or TV show. As I watch Miles grow into becoming Spider-Man and becoming this superhero with a bit of swagger, it almost feels like I'm watching a comic book version of me if I were to be Spider-Man. Seeing him interact with Peter B. Parker, who's almost the polar opposite of Miles' Peter Parker, is hilarious considering Peter doesn't want to deal with kids or truly help Miles with his ability. With the situation that's thrown upon them, they just happen to have to work together, and watching them grow their chemistry together is fantastic considering they make great callbacks later on in the movie. Don't watch the mouth, watch the hands. How do I know that I won't mess it up? You don't. You're right, it's a leap of faith. And even Miles throwing a sticker on a statue in NYC, which happens to be the same statue that Peter B. Parker sat on in his introduction. It's moments like these where Spider-Verse capitalizes on fan service and character development. Hell, watching Miles flipping around during the end of the movie and Peter being like, "We taught him that, right? Can we say that?" And Gwen basically being like, "Absolutely not," is funny because Peter never wanted to teach Miles anything in the early portions of the movie. Spider-Verse uses these key emotional moments throughout the movie to create the payoff that someone is likely hoping to see by the end of the movie. For example, Miles goes through 2 tough love speeches from all of the various Spider members of the movie and his dad. This brings out the bravery in Miles and his superpowers, which leads to the pivotal moment of Spider-Verse, Miles finally taking a leap of faith. No matter how many times I've watched the leap of faith scene, I still get chills till this day because it's so good. From What's Up Danger playing, to the animation of this scene, to the build-up leading to this scene, it works every single time you watch it. It's basically perfect to me, and I wouldn't change a thing in that scene. You'd also think with Spider-Verse introducing so many side characters, you'd get tired of watching each character do a small introduction, but it works literally every single time. Whether it's Spider-Gwen doing her punk rock introduction or Peter B. Parker doing his introduction where we get to see him struggling with his life because of his breakup with his MJ, it's moments like that in Spider-Verse where it reminds you why you love these characters. It's consistent fan service without being obnoxious and or slowing down the movie or making you think, man, this bit is getting old by now. Can we move on with this? Even toward the end of the movie, having Miles do his own introduction, which basically recaps the movie, it feels less of a forced idea and more so of the movie being closed in the perfect fashion. It's the perfect cherry on top, and if the movie didn't do that, I'd argue that people would have wanted the movie to close out like that because it would have been the perfect yet missed opportunity. That's the beauty of Spider-Verse. If anything, it doesn't feel like it's missing anything at all. There's a constant momentum where Spider-Verse has this goal of taking the viewer from one scene to another, and you almost can't take your eyes off of it because Spider-Verse is that entertaining. One of the things I've grown to appreciate even more is the use of the Prowler in Spider-Verse. Being shown how much Uncle Aaron means to Miles despite Uncle Aaron and Miles' dad having a very strange relationship plays a key role in making the movie's plot twist meaningful. They reveal that who Miles looked up to actually turns out to possibly be as bad as his dad says he is because he's working for Wilson Fisk, the same man Miles is trying to take down with our beloved Spider-Man, Ham, and Woman. The key reason it works is because not only do we get to see how much Prowler regrets working for Fisk, but it's more so because Prowler's death becomes the reason Miles and his dad get closer. That death made Miles' dad want to give Miles a conversation about love, which was meaningful despite Miles not saying a single thing. The main reason I appreciate this more than I previously did is because Spider-Man Miles Morales, the PS5 game, has the Prowler in it, and he plays a role in the very short story, but it's not nearly as meaningful to me in that game. The main reason it's not good is because the story in Spider-Man Miles Morales sort of wraps up quicker than you think, and it ruins the impact of a character like the Prowler, despite him being a major part in Miles' story as well. Is it horrible, terrible, or just very bad in general? No, not at all. But having the ability to compare this game's use of the Prowler to Spider-Verse actually made me grow an appreciation for the creative decisions made for this movie's Prowler. You know what else I've grown to appreciate? I love the fact that Miles gets his own battle at the end of Spider-Verse. The entire movie spends time building up Miles and building out that universe's Spider-Man, and for every single Spider member to leave right before the big pivotal fight in the movie just feels right. We spend the entire time watching these characters bounce off of each other, whether it's cracking jokes or giving Miles a lesson on how to be Spider-Man. Yet, the end of the movie lets Miles have the pivotal fight without the same people who built him up so that we, the audience, can finally see the end result of Miles' training. They don't overshadow him, they don't take away his momentum, and we even get to see Miles finally take control of the spotlight when they're all fighting Doc Ock together as a team. They're literally in awe of Miles and his amazing abilities that he suddenly gained thanks to his newfound confidence. If you compare it to another Spider-Man movie such as Homecoming or Far From Home, the only time Peter gets that is when he's covered in rocks during Homecoming, and that's essentially the birth of MCU Spider-Man. In my opinion, even though I do love the MCU Spider-Man movies, that moment is not even close to Miles' leap of faith moment or him saving the day during his fight with Wilson Fisk. The difference with Spider-Verse is that Miles gets to actually become this superhero that he never thought he could ever become. He already had a likable personality. He already had the swagger that separates him from everyone else. And all he needed was the confidence boost to realize that anyone can truly wear the mask. In Miles' case, he had to go through growing pains, but once he finally has it, the movie just lets him shine. He gets to outshine everyone without coming off as obnoxious. He gets to do his own thing, and the pressure that prevented Miles from being Spider-Man finally disappears so he could have the spotlight. Miles gets to actually breathe as a superhero and not depend on people to ensure that he could be a superhero anymore. And we've yet to truly see it done in a positive way during a MCU Spider-Man movie. We've spent 5 movies with MCU's Peter Parker: Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. Yet, Peter still hasn't been able to breathe at all as a character. Marvel is legitimately hellbent on making sure that he's consistently overshadowed by almost everyone in any single scene he's in, whether it's the ghost of Tony Stark, his mentor-mentee dynamic with Happy, his relationship with MJ, or even his friendship with Ned, Peter doesn't ever get the chance to be the star of the show. There's literally been 5 movies with this iteration of Spider-Man, and there's a 6th one on the way as well, where it seems like he's also not going to be able to have the chance to actually be the focus of a movie. It's always Spider-Man and friends when it comes to the MCU Spider-Man, and it's genuinely annoying because with all of the experience Peter has, he should be able to stand on his own 2 feet by this point. In one movie alone, Spider-Verse has managed to bypass all of that nonsense and finally give us a Spider-Man who can seemingly stand on his own 2 feet. Miles is the focus throughout all of Spider-Verse, but when the end of the movie finally comes around the corner, he becomes the primary character for a positive reason. All of those emotional moments, all of those lessons filled with tough love, and all of those hilarious moments showcasing the learning curve that one has to overcome to be Spider-Man, build to the moment everyone has been waiting for, Miles becoming Spider-Man. And when that switch is finally flipped, it becomes Miles saving everyone else and making sure everyone else safely goes back to their homes. He's the one who's taking care of everyone else after every single one of them tried to take care of him, and that's why Miles' future feels so damn bright. We're going to see him become a better Spider-Man, and he's only going to strive as he learns more. This is why Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie, and I'm going to always stand by that opinion. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the story, the animation, the art style, the characters, the jokes, and even the soundtrack all come together for this beautiful piece of fan service that someone never knew they could possibly want. This is the Spider-Man series I care about, and this is the Spider-Man I want to see more of. I love Spider-Verse so much that I can sit down and watch it at any point in time because I know that no matter what, I'm in for an emotional yet lighthearted time that's consistently going to put a smile on my face. Honestly, and I've thought about this for a while now, Spider-Verse might be the only comic book movie I would highly suggest to someone who's looking to get into comic book movies or at least wants to watch a comic book movie for the first time. It does every single thing right, and it never once slows down, becomes uninteresting, is too corny for someone to enjoy, or has various aspects that lower the quality of life for this movie. I'm gonna take the leap of faith and say it once again, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is currently the greatest comic book movie ever made, and we truly did not deserve this movie whatsoever. I can't wait to see what's in store for Spider-Verse 2. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you really enjoyed the video, hit that sub button. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, write a comment down below. Don't forget to keep it real with peace, love, and positivity.